Hello, and welcome to this video where I will show you how to use Google Draw to digitally render set model parts that you can then print out and actually put on your models. Here I've opened up Google Draw, and up at the top I have my back wall, which is what I'm doing, and I want it in 1/4 inch scale. So hopefully you know how to do scale. I'm including a wall which is 12 foot by 8 foot, which in 1/4 inch scale is 3 inches by 2 inches, a door which is 2.5 foot by 6.5 foot, which comes out to 5/8 of an inch by 1 5/8 of an inch, and a window at 2 foot by 2 foot, which comes out to 1/2 an inch and 1/2 an inch. The first thing I need to do is get my digital paper to match an actual piece of paper, since I will be printing these out on real paper. So I go down to page setup, change the standard to custom, and change the dimensions from 10 by 7.5 to 8.5 by 11, since that is the paper I will be printing this out on. Now that I have my paper the right size, I can actually start planning out my wall. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually make my wall. So I need this to be a 3 inch by 2 inch rectangle. So I'm going to choose the Draw a Shape rectangle, put it on there, Format Options, go down to Size and Rotation, and make the rectangle 3 inches by 2 inches. So 3 inches long for my 12-foot long wall, and 2 inches high to match the 8 foot. There I have it, my 3 inch by 2 inch rectangle. Just going to stick this in the middle of the page and start adding to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a door. So my door is 2.5 feet by 6.5 feet, which goes to 5/8 of an inch and 1.5/8 of an inch. So first thing I'm going to do is select my rectangle shape, so make another rectangle, change the size of it. 5/8 of an inch turns into 0.625. This is going to round it up to 6.3. And my height will be 1.63 to keep it in scale. Once I've done that, I'm going to take that rectangle and position it on my wall where I want it. Now to do the same thing for the window. So 0.5 inches by 0.5 inches for my 2 feet. Make the rectangle, resize it to the 0.5, and place it. You get the idea. Now that I've planned out exactly where I want things to go on my wall, I can use images from the internet to add color, texture, pattern, anything I want to really make this wall look real, look natural. And so that's what I'm about to do. I want this to be a brick wall. So what I'm going to do is come up to Insert, select Image, and then search from the web. Search from the web is nice because I know I'll be able to insert it into this without any copyright issues. So I'm just going to type in brick into the little search bar, and I'm going to get all these awesome images of brick. I like this one. It's already pretty small, so getting it to scale won't be hard. All right, now I need to resize this image because the bricks are a bit too big. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the size of the bricks in relation to the size of the rest of the wall, and that's how I know how small to make this image. So I put it sort of on the wall. The bricks still seem a little too big, so I'm going to minimize them even more. That seems about right. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it a few times so I have enough bricks to cover the entire wall. I do want the bricks to overlap a little bit so that it looks natural. It does look like a solid brick wall, not different images that go together to make a brick wall. There we go. Now I'm going to select all of these and group them together so that they are basically one image. Now that I have them grouped, I need to crop the image. so that it fits just within my wall. Now, do make sure that when you're using the crop tool, you are cropping and not actually changing the dimensions of the image, which is what I just had to do, go back and fix. So you make it small enough so that you can see the wall behind, and then move it out to where you need it to be. There we go. Now my brick image is the same size as my wall. I'm going to send it, and remember it's in the group, so I don't have to send each individual brick image. I can group them to behind everything else, and then change my rectangle for my wall to transparent. There we go. Now that I have my wall, I can select an image for my door. Now, if you don't find any images that you like, you can always make your own using the squares and the rectangles and, adding color yourself. But I just find using images from the internet to be a lot faster, and usually you can find something that you generally like. It is important to find images of things that are flat, that the camera is looking at it straight on. So for example, this door image, I like it, and I found it before, which is how I knew exactly where it was. It's not quite centered in the photograph, which means that it's a tiny bit skewed. But for the most part, it's pretty straight on. You want to try to find images that are as straight on as possible so that the angle isn't weird when you put it in your wall, because your wall should be, you're looking at it from the center straight on. And if you have a window that's at an angle or something that's in perspective, it's just not going to look right. So once I insert my door and I crop it down to just the door, I'm going to resize it a little bit. I'm going to move it around and place it. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the window, search the web. Now, if you have Photoshop, Procreate, any of those sort of software programs, you can do a lot more than what I'm going to be showing you in this video. You can find windows that are a little skewed and you can straighten them up. You can change the texture on them. You can change the color more than what I'm going to show you how to change the color on things today. You can do a lot more. That being said, Google Draw is free, and so that's why we like it. I am going to show you how to edit things a little bit on Google Draw using the crop tool and the duplicate tool. So for example, I have this window, and I like these windows. They're kind of fun, but they are definitely rectangle windows, and the window that I need is a square. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to turn this rectangle window into a square window, a 4-paned square window, without making it look crazy. So first things first, I'm just going to crop out everything but the window, and then move it up to my wall and make it basically the size I need. I am going to be playing with size throughout this process, but it's good to start off with more or less the size you need. It takes less editing later on. So I'm making it the width because the width is fine. I don't need to worry about width. It's the length that's the problem. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to copy my window. Okay. I'm cropping it down. I don't want the top the top 4 panes. I'm gonna layer my new image over the old one. See how it's already, you can see what I'm doing, starting to make a smaller window. I'm gonna take that back window and I'm gonna crop out the bottom so that you can't see it. And now I have a 4-paned window. With a little more zhuzhing, it's gonna look more like the window I need. And there you go. It's not perfect, but it works. Now I'm going to show you how to recolor objects if that's something that you want to do. I'm going to change the door and have it match that window just a little bit better. So I'm going to select the door and then come down to Format Options and Recolor. Now you can see that there's all these different colors I can choose from. You can change it to whatever color exists within here. Again, if you have one of the fancier, more expensive software packages like Photoshop, you can do a lot more with color and with value and intensity, but this is perfectly fine for this project. If you can't find the exact color you need, there's got to be something close. There you have it. This is a very, very brief overview on how to digitally render using Google Draw. Because my paper is already scaled out, when I do go to print this out, it will be in scale, it'll be perfect. I'll be able to cut it out and glue it to whatever cardstock or foam core that I've chosen for my project and be able to put it in my bottle box. I hope that this video has helped you. If you have any questions, please let me know.